Well, hello and welcome back. My name's Diana, and this is That Girl's Quilting Threads and Things. And whether you're a new viewer or a returning viewer, thank you so much for choosing to watch. Today's episode should be pretty short and very simple. We're not going to be doing any quilting today. We are going to be taking steps to get ready to start a project, Walk Around the World with great-grandmother Savita. This project is inspired by the fabric that I got from my grandmother, but also from a quilt block that I was introduced to a year or so ago as I started this channel. It's a variation of a spice rack. Meet me over at the cutting table and we'll walk through the basics of what you need to walk around the world with me and Great Grandma Savita. So here's a sneak preview of the quilt that we're going to be building. This is going to be recorded in a series of 8 videos, including today's video. What I wanted to do with this video today to help get you started was to just kind of give you a visual of what the intended outlook is and why I chose to do it the way I did. Just know that the quilt is not going to look exactly like this. The software program that I had to design this quilt didn't have the same exact fabrics that I had, so I chose textured fabric that looked close to what it is. So this will give you an idea of the color scheme. Also note that this quilt is intended to be a trip around the world style quilt. To get you started, I recommend that you have 7 focus fabrics and 6 accent fabric. The reason why we have 7 focus fabric is because we have a focus fabric in the very center of our block. The others are focus fabrics that are enhanced by the accent fabrics. So you want to make sure that whatever focus fabric you have, that you have some kind of corresponding accent fabric. It can be the same color, it can be anything that you want, it's quilter's choice. The other visual component to this quilt is that it's intended to kind of have a little bit of a 3-dimensional flair to it. And this is why we have 2 background fabrics, one light and one dark. If you remember granny squares, if your grandmother or anybody in your family crocheted and made granny squares, this kind of has that same look and feel. So let's get started with the specifics. We talked about focus fabrics, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you the focus fabrics, what I needed, and the amount of squares. Each one of your focus fabrics needs to be cut at 4.5 inches square. Let's go ahead and go over the focus fabrics. So fabric A, as I mentioned, can be anything. You just need 1 square. Any kind of square that's going to draw your eye to the center. It can be beautiful flowers, it can be opposing colors, whatever you want it to be. For focus fabric B, you'll need 8 squares. Focus fabric C, you'll need 16 squares. Focus fabric D, you'll need 24 squares. Focus fabric E, you'll need 28 squares. Focus fabric F, you'll need 20 squares. And focus fabric G, you'll need 16 squares. Now for the accent fabric, I did not use any fat quarters or any kind of pre-cuts of any sort. So I'm going to give you the yardage in inches. Now recall, focus fabric A, it's the very center of the quilt. So there's not going to be any accent colors. But for focus fabric B, we will have an accent color. You're only going to cut 1 square. All of your flying geese, your peak squares, are going to be cut at 5 1/4. That's the large square. Your sky squares, those are your small squares. Those will be cut at 2 7/8. Accent H, you only need 6 inches of yardage, or you could get away with a fat quarter. And you'll need 6 inches of yardage for fabric I. Moving on down, for your next accent fabric, J, you need 11 to 12 inches. It depends on how you cut your large squares out. Err to the side of cutting more than you need versus cutting exactly what you need. For your next accent fabric, K, you need 12 inches. Next accent fabric, L, you'll also need 12 inches. And for your accent fabric, M, you'll need 12 inches. Now for your background fabrics, you'll need two. You'll need one light and you'll need one dark. And this is what's going to give that three-dimensional look and feel to the quilt. For these two, for your background fabrics, which will be labeled N and O, I encourage you to get 3/4 of a yard of each. Now if you want to do a piece border, or if you want to do a color coordinating border, then the quilt is estimated to be 60 by 60 square. So calculate anything that you would need for a border. I do not plan on putting a border on this because I really just want to highlight the focus fabrics that were in my great-grandmother's collection. I want to thank you very much for your time today. I hope that you're as excited as I am, and whatever quilting journey you're working on currently, I hope that it brings you a lot of joy. So I'll see you in a coming episode where we are doing rounds 1 and 2 to get this project started. Please come and join me as we walk around the world with great-grandmother Savita.